It's 7 p.m. Kalihi-Pālama Neighborhood Boards is called to order. Starting off with city monthly reports from the Honolulu Fire Department.
Good.
Camera is on so you can have a seat right there. Sorry? Yeah, read the report.
So our incident statistics for February of 2025, we have 2 structure fires, 1 wildland brush fire, 4 nuance fires, no cooking fires, 5 activated alarms. For emergencies, we have 208 medicals, 3 motor vehicle collisions with pedestrians, 8 motor vehicle crash/collisions, no mountain rescues, no ocean rescues, and 1 hazmat incidents. And our fire safety tips and announcements is for smoke alarms. Install smoke alarms in every bedroom, outside each separate sleeping area like a hallway, and on each level of the home. Test smoke alarms at least once a month by pushing the test button, and replace smoke alarms when they are 10 years old or stop responding when tested.
Okay, very good. Any questions from the board? Go ahead.
I know you guys worked hard this morning. Could you give us some information on the Kanoa Banyan Street fire this morning?
We didn't go to that fire this morning. It was yesterday's shift. We didn't go to it this morning.
You don't have any report if there was any injuries or anything?
I don't have any.
I don't believe there was reported injuries. No firefighter injuries, no civilian injuries. Not that
That's good to know.
But I would have to double check. We haven't heard anything, so I don't believe there was any injuries to personnel as well as civilians.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Very good. I am aware that it was a vacant, empty home. So the likelihood of somebody being injured is very low. But that's a good report nonetheless. Any questions from the community online? No. Thank you, gentlemen, very much for all that you do.
Thank you guys for having us.
Okay.
Question.
Oh, go ahead, Donald.
Is the homes that are burning, are they double wall or single wall? There's been a lot of fires lately.
Most have been single wall construction.
Yeah, that's
much older construction from way back in the day.
Yeah, that'll do it. That'll create the environment for fire.
Okay. Thank you, gentlemen, so much.
Awesome. Thank you
Thank you
guys.
for your time. Moving along with Honolulu Police Department District 1.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, good evening. I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with the faces. Are you Miss Ibanez?
Yes, I am.
Okay, I just want to make sure I'm talking to the right person. Good evening, Chair Ibanez and everyone in attendance. My name is Sergeant Pedro Rodriguez, representing the Honolulu Police Department District 1, Community Area of Responsibility. Thank you for your time and patience. The information provided today represents the total amount of cases for this area. I would ask for more statistical information. You can go to our website, honolulupd.org, for better statistical information for the month of February. So the cases I'm going to talk about right now happened in February. Motor vehicle thefts are down. We had 1 for the month of February, opposed to the previous month, which was 7. Burglaries, we have none to report, which is better than last month, which we had 2. Thefts have gone up for this area. We had 8 for the month of February as opposed to 3 the previous month. Unlawful entry into motor vehicles also went up. We have 4, which is up from the previous, which is 2. Assaults, we had 5, which is also up as opposed to 2 the previous month. We have no sexual assaults to report for either this month or the month prior. We have 1 graffiti case, which is opposed to none last month, and 1 drug arrest, which is down from the previous 5 that we have had. At this time, we have no criminal breaches to report at this time. Prince Kuhio Day has announcements to make. Prince Kuhio Day will be on Wednesday, March 26, 2025. Due to this holiday, HPD District 1, Sector 1, which I represent, will be out in force to ensure the safety of people that wish to attend any festivities throughout the Chinatown area of responsibility. Our safety tip for the month of March is to remind pedestrians to be well aware of their surroundings while walking around in their communities, and especially when crossing the streets due to the higher probability of traffic during the weekend and the upcoming holidays. We especially ask people to maintain vigilant, to remain vigilant, especially during the hours of darkness around parks and recreation areas, as they are off limits and closed to the public between the hours of 10 p.m. and 5 a.m. During the month of January and February, District 1 Sector 1 officers responded to several disturbances called within the surrounding areas of Beretania Community Park and Aala Park. Some of these services calls resulted in the initiation of assaults, robberies, and usual violation of park rules. In some of these cases, the alleged suspects did flee to the District 5 areas, but were later located and arrested within the D5 and the D1 border. We ask the residents nearing the areas to stay vigilant and to continue to report any suspicious activities observed. At this time, I yield back the rest of my time to take any questions if you have any.
So Officer Rodriguez, are you lieutenant or sergeant? I want to have the right.
Sergeant Rodriguez.
Sergeant Rodriguez. I wanted to say thank you. Salvation Army, which is located on Vineyard Boulevard, had been suffering from some break-ins and some vagrant activities and a lot of graffiti, some of which was very threatening. So they wanted to extend a big mahalo to you folks for the increase in patrols in that area and for addressing a lot of that. They feel a lot safer. And they have put up some lights in the area to deter crime. So sometimes people will take advantage of dark spots, so they've been putting some lights in there. But they wanted to say a big mahalo and a big thank you. They have noticed a decrease in the vagrant activity happening in and around that area, Salvation Army and Vineyard. So thank you so much.
We appreciate that. As I said, my responsibility is that area. And what my officers do is every time they do an inspection, they log it in. They report that they're doing it at whatever time. I usually tell them to do 2 before the midnight and 2 after midnight. And it just isn't for that one officer, it's anybody. I personally myself have spent a couple of hours just watching that area. But we do our best.
I've been watching that area too whenever I can. Allegedly, that activity and the graffiti, the break-ins, and the property damage has been occurring from the hours of 11 p.m. until 3 a.m. So during that period of time, just to give you a heads up, that's usually around the period of time that they're noticing the graffiti that they're starting to graffiti threats to certain people, and there are names of people on there. So I just wanted to bring that awareness to you too, that people are named at graffiti.
Yeah, we take pictures and we submit it, and hopefully we can identify any of those things. But we are dealing with it as best as we can.
Thank you so much for all that you helped with Salvation Army. Again, they wanted to extend the big mahalo directly to you folks.
Appreciate that. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Any more questions from the board? Any questions from the community?
I just want, Lynn Vasquez, neighborhood board member, just want to say thank you for clearing the problem that we had on Vineyard and Lilian, Sergeant Rodriguez. It's been clear.
Appreciate it. We try to do our best.
No questions from the community. Thank you so much, Officer Rodriguez.
Thank
See you
you.
next month.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. We're moving along to Honolulu Police Department, District 5.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Can everyone hear me clearly?
Yes.
Good evening. This is Lieutenant Cretin Hatiko. I'm one of the nighttime commanders here at the Kalihi Police Station. Let me provide you with stats for the month. This board, you guys know, is one of our most busiest areas, just because of the density of the people. But for the month of February, there were 5 assaults reported, 15 auto thefts, 10 burglaries, 5 robberies, 2 sex assaults, 18 simple assaults, 30 basic thefts, and 7 thefts from vehicles. It's quite a bit down from what was reported in January. We had 3,142 calls for service in January. In February, it was down to 2,934. And I remind you guys again that this area encompasses 10 beats for us. So it's 10 distinct areas that we have coverage in. Some of the highlights, not really highlights, but notable cases. There was a sex assault first case reported on the 600 block of North King Street. And in that case, someone was arrested and charged. There was also a robbery second at the Dole Cannery Costco area, where a person was knocked down by a male and had his bag snatched. We're still searching for the suspect in that case. There was an auto theft reported at the 500 block of Alacava Street. Apparently what the suspect did was he found a vehicle that was on sale online, arranged to make a meeting, and then handed over a worthless check, a fake check, it might have been fake, and to get control of the car, and he simply drove away. We got the vehicle back, and persons were arrested for operating the vehicle, but we're still looking for the person that did the initial fake transaction. There was also a robbery second reported in the 1400 block of Adelaide Street, and it was a juvenile male who was robbed by force. In that case, we did make 2 arrests of 2 juvenile males in that case, so we caught the people responsible. I know this is something regarding today, but you guys asked about the case up at the fire up at Banyan Street, and at this time we have reason to believe it was an arson, so it was intentionally set. We're still going through surveillance video that we have recovered, so there's going to be additional information forthcoming, but I would suggest these kinds of things normally happen, especially the structure arsons, happen in the early morning hours when they know nobody's around, nobody's paying attention. If you're all walking your dog, checking your mail, that sort of thing, pay attention to the suspicious people in your neighborhood. And like we always tell you guys, it's no problem for you guys to call about somebody acting suspicious. We'll come and we'll check it out if necessary. To tag along on the tip that Sergeant Rodriguez provided, one other group that I want you guys to be aware of when you're driving around our neighborhoods is people in wheelchairs, especially in driveways. So residential area driveways, anywhere where vehicles are stopping to enter the street. There have been a few cases lately where people in wheelchairs have gotten hit by vehicles, and it's not anything malicious or anything like that. It's just that a lot of times in the current vehicles that are on the road today, it's hard to see someone who's sitting that low in the chair. So just have an extra level of caution, and when you enter a roadway, try to enter slowly so that you can stop suddenly if you need to. Try not to just launch into the street, because a lot of times that's what happens. Now I'm open to any questions or concerns.
Any questions from the board? Any questions from the community?
I have one.
Go ahead.
Sure.
Okay, I was wondering, when you say,
Can you sit at
And
the
then
table
state
so
your
the
name.
camera can see you, Zeno?
And state the name.
And state your name.
my name's Dale Krupa, I live 888 Ely Road. Like, when you say robberies, does that include shoplifting, where you write citations to people and that kind of thing?
I'm sorry, sir. I
So you
couldn't
said-
hear you.
Okay, when the numbers sound real low on crime to me. Like, there's an enormous amount more than that. When you say robberies, does that include somebody shoplifting who was just given a citation?
Shoplifting, we put that under the simple thefts. A robbery involves taking someone's property with force.
Oh, I see, okay.
Yeah.
Do you have numbers for the simple theft then?
Yeah, I said
Was that-
30
Yes,
cases of
about-
simple theft are reported.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, I was always wondering, like, relating to the homeless and buying drugs, are there businesses that buy food stamps back and give cash back? You know, they keep 20%, they ring up a phony sale, and they give 80% cash back to customers, and that's what they buy their drugs with. then they go out and they live on the handouts from the different agencies.
I don't have no specific numbers on that, but I suspect it's something that's possible. But I personally don't have any kind of solid information on that, sir.
Because they spoke about that downtown, Chinatown, Mauna Kea Liquor, some other establishments were, giving back cash. Okay, that's all I wanted to.
Lieutenant, I think that would be falling under fraud. So just moving forward. Thank you, Dale.
Yeah. No problem.
Other than that, you mentioned about the one sex assault case. Where's the second one, if you don't mind by sharing?
Oh, shoot. I'm sorry, I don't have the information written down. I can get it for you though, ma'am.
That would be great. You can just email it to me, or for the next meeting, that's fine.
Okay, no problem.
But I just wanted to say thank you so much for all that you do. The men and women in blue are very busy, and there's a lot of assaults on police officers nowadays too. And that's inclusive of verbal assaults. And any law enforcement officer is unacceptable in any community, as you are part of our community too. So thank you so much for all that you do, and please relay that message to all the officers.
I will, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Have a good evening.
You too.
Okay, so we're gonna move along to Board of Water Supply, Iris Oda.
Hi, good evening. Sorry I can't be there tonight. I just have the one quick general announcement. I'll read it, what they tell me. It's thirsty for a stable career. The Board of Water Supply is hiring. We have open positions in engineering, information technology, customer care, and administrative roles. Enjoy great benefits, job security, and the opportunity to grow and make a difference. It's time to turn the valve on a new career that matters. So apply today at boardofwatersupply.com/jobs or call 808-748-5160. So that's my one quick announcement. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions from the board? Any questions from the committee or online?
I'm sorry.
Hearing none, thank you so much, Iris. I'll see you next month.
Thank you. So looking forward to it. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, moving forward with Honolulu Authority for Rapid Transit, Hart Marissa Gonzalez.
Hi, I'm Gabby Camacho. I'll be speaking on behalf of Hart today.
Okay.
Okay. So good evening, Chair Ibanez, board members, and all community members. Joining me today is Tara Kaneshiro from our Dillingham Utilities relocation contractor, Non-Inc., and Patrick Watson from our downtown utilities relocation contractor, Frank V. Coluccio. So I'll get into our project updates. For the first update, we did bring up to our contractor, Non, Mr. Ken Farm's concern about our notification via email for sidewalk closures, and none will include sidewalk closures in their e-blasts when they are long-standing closures. It is a bit tricky though, due to sidewalk closures being required for safety around the work zone, and those work zones may change day to day, therefore changing the sidewalk closures day to day. But again, we'll include these when necessary. So in their e-blast last week, they had a markup of a sidewalk closure on the Mauka side of Mama Highway, fronting Bamboo Commerce Center. So that's their shopping center, where Color Time and Costco air conditioning and refrigeration are. If you're interested in joining non-Coluccio Hart e-blast list, where you can find the sidewalk closures, road closures, project updates, you can privately message me in the chat with your email and specify which contractor you'd like to be added to, and then we'll add you. So for our second update, Hart just published our March edition of the elected officials newsletter. I'll go over general points of the newsletter, which is broken down into sections. So for the first section, airport guideway and stations contract from Pearl Harbor to Middle Street. The guideway construction is complete, station construction is substantially complete, core systems installation is complete, and major testing is ongoing. After major testing is finished, trial running and system demonstration will be conducted, and then we can hand over all of the assets to DTS, who then determines when it's ready for public operation. So that's expected by the end of this year. And once operational, 84% of the total guideway miles and 13 of 19 stations will be complete and open to the public. So for the City Center Guideway and Stations contract, Tutor Perini, the contractor for this project, has started work on geotechnical exploratory boring, which is basically evaluating the soil to see what the structure of the soil is like. And they need to do this to know the conditions that they'll be working with for all their future work. And actual guideway column construction is scheduled for this summer. For downtown and Dillingham utility relocations, the work is continuing. They're relocating all of the utilities such as drainage, electrical, duct installation underneath the Kalihi-Pālama Canal is ongoing. Downtown contract is expected to finish the second quarter of this year, and Dillingham is expected to finish the first quarter of 2026. And lastly, for non-construction updates, we have a new board member. Jared N. Kawashima was appointed as the new member on February 14th by the Senate President of the Hawaii State Legislature as the legislative appointee. So he brings over 30 years of legal experience with a concentration in estate planning, trust and estate litigation, and advising trustees of different multiple Taft-Hartley trust funds. So all of the information I just mentioned, it's going to be found in the elected newsletters, and I'll put a link to download the newsletter in the chat. And lastly, we have our HART Board of Directors meeting this Friday, March 21st, starting at 8:30 a.m. It'll be held in Suite 150 at Ali'i Place, where you can join in person, and it's also broadcasted live on Olelo TV. I'll put the link in the chat for the meeting page where you can find the address to Ali'i Place, the link to the live stream meeting agenda, and more. So that's all for my updates. On to a question we received during the February neighborhood board from Mr. Thomas Peck. Is Mr. Peck there?
Yes, he is.
Okay. Mr. Peck, so I believe you asked if HECO is being charged to relocate their infrastructure for our projects. And the answer is no, they're not. HART doesn't charge any third parties for utility relocation for underground utilities, as well as above ground relocations like streetlights and poles. So HART does not charge any of the utility companies for that, including HECO. So this concludes my presentation. If you would like to get in contact with us, you can email us at info@honolulutransit.org or call our project hotline at 808-566-2299. And I'll put all of this info in the chat. So now I'd like to open the floor up to any questions.
Any questions from the board? Go ahead.
Just real quickly, for being able to sign up for the updates, having to email you our emails, is it possible that there could just be a sign up form on the HART website?
Yeah, there is for our e-blast. For the others, I would need to take your email.
Right, and I plan to give it to you, but just so that the general community can sign up for these updates, it doesn't seem scalable to tell them to email you directly.
Yeah, I can put our HART email e-blast sign up in the chat too.
Okay.
Yeah, but thank you for the suggestion for contractors.
Hello, Gabby. Just a quick thing. I put the Colucho, the CCR3 information in the chat already, so people can use those links to sign up for our e-blast. Okay, that's all. Thank you.
Thanks.
Hi, Evelyn Cullen. I got two comments or concerns. The first one would be for the contractor that's going to be doing the soil testing, the geo soil testing. Are they planning on doing vibratory drilling in the area? that can cause tremendous amount of damage to concrete structures if they are doing that. And in prior history, things like that have been done after 10 o'clock at night, where most of the people aren't in the area, but those that do reside in the area are left to feel like it's an earthquake that's happening. So just be aware, if they are going to be using some type of vibratory drilling, it can cause damage. And also in the Mapunapuna area, that's where you guys are currently working. Oahu is sinking, and particularly at a faster rate in that very area. So I hope HART is planning to mitigate that issue. It's not that far away. It's going to be happening real quick. I know that the airport is looking to expand towards that area, and with the latest information shared about Oahu sinking, that's a big concern. And then secondly, so you mentioned that HART has a newly elected board member who has a history of doing estate planning and trust. So is this person good at hiding assets? So that's what I'm kind of concerned about, because once they start hiding assets and liability, it's going to be a really big issue for me, because usually estate planning involves hiding assets. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
That's a lot.
Any further questions from the board?
Thank you for your comments.
Any questions from the community?
I have a question.
Thomas, go ahead and have a seat.
Thank you.
And it was nice seeing you in times.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Thomas Beck. I guess the question that I had asked previously was more in regards to the problem with Hawaiian Electric because of their financial issues. And the question was more on, they may have a problem trying to relocate the high power lines that they have. And I know until they do the work, they can't be reimbursed. That was basically my question. The second question I had is in regards to the audit that just came out. Because it shows, granted, it only goes from Kalaeloa to Pearl City and eventually becoming to Middle Street. What are they planning to do to increase the ridership? And secondly, it looks like they're gonna have to speed up the train because it's slower than the bus. What are they planning to do to, I guess, alleviate that issue? Thank you.
Did you get all the questions?
Yeah, sorry, I was writing it down. So I hope I answered the first question. I believe you're talking about the high power lines is the 138 kV that we're currently working on. Again, we don't charge any of the utility companies for the relocation, so they're not being charged to relocate the high power lines. And then your second question is, how are we going to increase ridership? We believe that, once the second segment is open, because it connects to a lot of bus depots, that a lot more people will be able to ride the rail and then go to their respective bus stations. Also, it's a little more closer to concentration of the population where people work and live, like Kalihi, So we believe that once segment 2 is open, ridership will spike. And then I'm not too sure about your third question about, the speed of the rail, but I can follow up with that and come back next month for an answer for you.
I'd like to, just a little segue, and it will be very brief. The Department of Transportation, rail, and the bus will be giving a presentation, and I want to have it as an understanding, because you mentioned about working class people. This is a working class neighborhood. 2 or 3 jobs, people need to get to where they need to be. So with that being said, I'm aware that certain routes will be altered, but we'll leave that for the next meeting, and whoever you need to speak to from the bus, DTS, so on and so forth, that have all the interests involved in transportation, in movement, and people to getting from point A to point B. Let it be said, please do not take away routes that a lot of people go to, especially the number 2. Number 2 and to Ever Beach. I myself, just out of curiosity, my heart is an investigator, right? So I like to, sometimes, I drive, I don't need to catch the bus, but I'll ride the bus just to see what it's like. Please do not take away routes. A lot of people have to stand for a very long time on their second job and their time. And if there is a way to expand certain services, that would be greatly appreciated too. Also, for there to be cameras in and around certain areas of the rail line that connects to the bus line, because some people are kind of scared when there's certain vagrant activities that are occurring, and it takes about 5 to 10 minutes for a police officer to get called and to get present and to get active on the situation. So with that being said, that would be very helpful. Cards?
Hi, just quick question. This is Cards. How does it look like when you guys consult with disabled communities? Because I was thinking about, I take the rail a lot heading to Waipahu, and I looked at some of the areas, some of the transit centers, and it's like, okay, this looks accessible. But then when we head into Kalihi Transit Center, I start thinking to myself, where it's like, I don't know if this is accessible enough. Like, yes, it fills in ADA, but it may not be accessible enough. So I'm just curious, how does it look like when you guys consult with disabled communities?
So all of our stations are built up to ADA compliance, but I need to come back to you on, what kind of consultation, if there is any. So I can come back to you next month with an answer.
Okay, it's more so like, it's just making sure like which leaders, if you have any leaders that you consult with, or if you actually go in with disabled communities, such as people with wheelchairs or deaf-blind people, just because, I don't know about Kapalama. I'm kind of worried for Kalihi Transit Center, especially if that elevator breaks. That could be people's only way to get up to take the rail.
Okay, and then for our stations and the stations that we're constructing, I believe we released information on ADA accessible specs in our e-blast either last week or it's upcoming this week. I can put in the chat if it was released last week. If not, then I can include that in the chat for next month. But we did a whole write-up on just to like inform and remind the community of our ADA features. Yeah, but thank you. That's a really good question.
I'll make it very quick. One more thing. As you're building towards Honolulu and urban core, if there also can be maybe emergency line phones, and even on the rail itself, if there's a way that they can connect to an emergency line, other than I'm on the phone and something's happening, maybe undercover narcovice, working with different law enforcement to be undercover. The more peoples, the more problems, and we don't want to be in a situation you're not prepared for and somebody gets seriously hurt. So we always want to be proactive, think in front, and not just be responding to an incident without any preparation. So if you can please be prepared for those kind of scenarios also, that would be great. Other than that, I think we're going to move along. But thank you so much. And I hope to hear from your answers from all these many good questions next month.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Now we're going to go to board business, filling of vacancies. Chu, anybody interested?
Could nominate Tom back?
Tom, you've been nominated over the decades so many times.
Oh, we can carpool, Tom.
Like I said, as much as I'd be honored to serve, because I'm taking care of a public person, I'm not sure I can give the time that's required, but I appreciate it.
Understood.
I thought I heard a yes.
Next one.
Understood, Thomas. You've been nominated many times over. I think we're going to move along now, since it nobody. That's okay, because we'll have elections soon anyway. B, approval of minutes for Wednesday, February 19, 2025. Oh, there is a correction, and I already articulated it. Any corrections, anybody notice?
Oh, yes, that's the only one.
Yeah, that's the only one. Approval of minutes.
That's fine.
Does anybody want to move?
Second.
Motion passed. Minutes approved. C, motion to support Senate Bill SB 65 SD2 relating to housing. Hopefully everybody read this, but I'm going to read it out loud. This bill addresses the repair and maintenance needs for Hawaii's public housing units used by some of the state's most vulnerable populations. As the Senate continues to prioritize the availability of housing, bringing existing housing inventory back online is critical to addressing the housing shortage. Anybody move?
Second.
Motion passed. Next.
Discussions.
Any discussion? None? Sounds good. Moving it along, motion to support SB 125 SD1 relating to state enterprise zones. Enterprise zones create tax incentives that can be used to provide local small businesses with incentives to, next page, develop and scale their operations. This bill helps local farmers and businesses that process local farm products stay competitive in both local and global markets. Any second?
Second.
Any discussion? No? None? Pass.
Say all. There is one.
Oh, is there anybody in opposition? None? Any abstain? None? It passed. Okay. Motion to support SB 448, SB1 relating to agriculture. Maintaining Oahu's agricultural lands and production is vital for food resilience and security, especially in central Oahu's remaining agricultural heartland. This measure enables the Agribusiness Development Corporation, ABC, to preserve these lands by ensuring they remain productive through a negotiated conservation easement. Any move? Second?
Second.
Any discussion?
So, maybe we should discuss, sorry.
We can discuss it.
Discuss.
Yeah, I'm not so sure if I support this bill just simply because I've been there and I've seen what this place looks like. It's really more homes. There's homes being built on the agribusiness development in Kumia, and they have a gate that you have to get through to go up through, enter this area. Once you get past that gate, you'll be able to see how many mansions are being built back there on agribusiness types of lands that's over there. And the city isn't able to go past that gate. So how are they able to regulate? They can use drones to go and see, but they still can't get on the property to see what's actually being done there. So if it's for agricultural, by all means, but from what I've seen firsthand recently, maybe a month ago, it's very questionable. A lot of huge mansions.
Who put that resolution in?
I did.
Oh, you did?
Mhm.
What do you think? What is your?
I think with regulation of private businesses and agriculture will be a fight that maybe nobody will win. Because private landowners can do whatever they want, essentially, on their own land.
Not even some for
although,
agriculture.
although there are a lot of farmers that do the same and build. Now in Waianae, I have a lot of experience with this too. Now in Waianae, there is mixed residential, agricultural, and emergency shelters that have been built. And this is going back to Twinkles and my work with the homeless population and those that are trying to get sober and dry. So with church organizations have purchased agricultural land mixed use because of that. But does that take away the essential use of this motion and this bill? No, it does not. There's gonna be people that are always gonna be probably doing the wrong thing. So is human nature.
A motion.
Okay, so strongly I second.
Motion passed. Any abstain?
I abstain.
Abstain.
I appreciate you trying to enforce parliamentary order, thank you.
Abstain.
Fine.
Okay, and we gotta do a roll call if anybody is actually, if anybody that is actually abstain or object, you gotta do roll call.
Okay.
Okay.
You can call up and then they can say yes, you know, or abstain. So you can say yes, no, or abstain when your name is called.
For SP. That's Lynn who? SP4. Okay. Evelyn.
No.
Diosa.
Yes.
Ken. Donald.
Yes.
Eric is absent. Randall, sorry.
Aye.
Cards.
Abstain, one more conversation, sorry.
Lloyd.
Yes.
Delia, are you on?
Abstain. I would also like further discussion. Thank you.
Lynn.
Yes.
Amanda.
Yes.
6 ayes, 1 no, 2 abstain, not adopted.
Okay. So moving it along to motion to support SB 1269 SD1, geothermal resources. This bill allocates funds to the Department of Business, Economic Development, and Tourism to explore geothermal energy in counties with less than 300 residents. The goal is to use this clean, reliable, and cost-effective energy source to help the state reach net zero carbon emissions while still providing affordable power for homes and businesses.
Oppose, object, no.
Well, first we gotta do a motion.
Okay.
Second to discuss.
Who moved it?
Is there a motion?
Lynn,
Anybody
second.
second? And so now discussion. If there's no discussion, then we're gonna move into,
I'm
anybody
just
abstain?
so just curious about like what did Geothermal,
I
thank
think
you.
it's primarily having to do with the Big Island.
Correct.
Yeah.
And the Hawaiian Homelands is looking towards geothermal, or there's been years and years in discussion on geothermal and a lot of pushback in the community members there. So I would still want to have a lot more information and discussion on this topic.
Yes. I would just point out that this bill just gives funding to DBEDT to research this, so it doesn't actually initiate any projects. It's just to allow them to have the resources to explore doing it. But yeah, the 300,000 residents, it could be any county besides Oahu, but I think the Big Island's the only one that actually has significant geothermal potential.
Correct.
Yeah, and if they have more information from the community members that it would impact, because like Ka'u or Punalu'u, they already have people that are opposing like any kind of development that's happening there.
Right.
So again, I point out that there's no proposal, so this bill would be to allocate funding to them, then they would be able to make a proposal or hold those community input meetings, but right now there's nothing, so this bill is just giving them resources to start even looking
Start
into
the
it.
discussion, sorry.
Yeah, is this the right department to be
Department of
allocating funds
Economic
to?
Development.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Business, yeah, if it's gonna be a privately
It's gonna
operated
be a
one.
business.
Not a working group,
So
right?
it's gonna be state funding
So
to
there-
help a private business get into business, so
Yeah.
no, so, because of the financial straits we are currently in on the federal level, it's gonna trickle down. And I don't have money in my pocket right now to give nobody.
Okay, motion, second?
It was already moved and seconded,
Okay.
so.
Yeah.
So I think we're gonna table it.
Table it.
Yeah, we're just gonna table it.
We don't wanna vote on it.
We'll table it for later. More discussion and everybody can do their own
So
research.
just a point of clarification, the session, when's signing day? Like when does legislature close? Like will there be any relevance to this by next month's meeting?
It's ongoing discussion at the state capitol.
We're not in crossover yet.
No.
We are.
Oh, we are in crossover.
Certain
Okay,
bills,
great.
but not this one.
Then we just didn't make it then. It's a crossover.
Yeah, crossover happened already,
But this is an ongoing conversation.
but the bill itself might be.
You might have to find out whether the bill is dead or.
There's no funding to it, it's just a discussion. So you're correct, it's just having that conversation with the community. That's what this is about.
Is there any information that's already posted or linked that For studies that have been already found.
Yeah, so you can research this online and take a look and click on it because there is much history about it.
Okay.
So just ask if there's any objection to tabling this.
Any objection to tabling?
I'd rather call the question
Oh, go ahead.
and vote for it tonight,
Okay.
whether it fails.
So we'll do roll call.
Evelyn,
No.
Yosa,
No.
Ken, you can unmute him. Just type it.
Silent participant.
Donald,
No.
Randall,
Aye.
Cards,
Nay.
Lloyd,
No.
Delia,
No.
Lynn. Aye. Amanda.
What I'm about to say is because I believe in having a discussion. It opens the lines of communication, whatever it could be. So my answer is aye.
Chair, may I
3-6.
share one thing?
Sure.
Apologies. This is Antili Ulima. I'm looking at on the capital.hawaii.gov, and it looked like the bill was heard today and passed the CPC committee with amendments. And so for the latest update, members of the community can check out capital.hawaii.gov and put in the bill number and see the movement and when it's scheduled, and then provide testimony and see what the amendments look like as well.
Fantastic. Thank you so much,
Share that.
Delia,
Thank
for
you.
the update. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. There is quite a lot of people that want to have that discussion. All right, moving along to presentation. Limited to 10 minutes, HFD Fire Inspector Carl Otsuka, Fire Prevention.
I always think by F.
Oh.
I'm gonna go by F.
Okay.
I don't think camera would be able to see though.
Alrighty. Madam Chairperson and members of the board, thank you for having me. Today's
No, I didn't have any.
Was it
I
on
was
there?
It wasn't
Oh, just do verbal. Oh my gosh, you can't remember it.
I
Not
did not
really.
receive any email.
Oh,
Shucks.
my presentation.
Oh no.
That was to the substitute, sorry, that was here.
Oh.
Is it in the Google Drive?
Hold on, let me see if I've saved it on my phone. One moment, please.
That's okay, verbal is fine.
Recess.
Yeah, let's do a recess for 5 minutes. Okay, 5-minute recess. Sorry, Carl.
Send it to me right away.
That's a resume.
Yeah.
Political science degree, you work for Nestle.
I have it.
Nestle, yeah. And was that
Can I
in
send it to you
Postal
later?
research? You work for the millionaire that.
Yeah.
They got free water.
I know. Just trickle down.
Yeah, no, you're gonna do
Yeah,
all
it's
that
okay.
studies and
I'm not gonna hold up that.
Yeah.
No, I'm not one of them.
especially for the State Department.
I saved it.
You just send anything controversial. Good. No, no. That happened.
Yeah, I've always saved it. I saved everything. Just.
Water.
They had a water on that day.
Oh, no, they gave it
That's
to
sold.
every
They sold out the water on. A small portion of it. For the Perrier and the Zephyr.
We are a very interesting board.
Yeah, but I aspire one day. Right now, I'm just
But yeah, it is a problem, and I know
I think
why
our margins start to break.
And technically, Kalihi Transit Center had
2 years ago.
because of the budget. So because they have that,
They're going more towards,
you have to go across.
We're still looking for a good bar order.
That is a good point.
Check out.
You're us here.
It's unfortunate. We lost my friend.
I can always read it off my phone.
You're anyways, worst comes to worst.
Good career. I don't know the mainland. Unforgettable, right?
I have it, it's right here.
Did you get it?
I think, I don't know if she died.
You made it long because it's a presentation.
But it's still the Kalihi, right? Is he still living?
It's coming from your phone.
So my phone is
Back out
out,
first,
saved by cloud.
You need to go past her.
It's not a long
Yeah,
presentation.
yeah. Yeah. I have to visit her someday.
Sending because you're
Oh, yeah.
20 years.
This attachment may be too big to send.
She taught me
everything. You got it?
She taught me everything I know.
And like,
No kidding.
Yeah, everything I know about her.
so I agree with you there.
It's thinking.
So I will.
I was gonna bring that.
Send the attachment again.
Sorry.
There's the night market. Sharia.
Oh, where'd you get that?
Oh, there's a message. I was thinking about this today.
I've not been smelling your.
I was-
As long as it's not been smelling, go to the shower. Go get your.
I was thinking about this today, but last year was the incident
Oh.
that happened.
What, was it in March?
Well, it was in March, yes.
Yeah.
I still remember it. And I was thinking about this today. It was like the
Oh, the
incident.
error.
It was.
It's been a year.
Yeah, it's been a year. It was in this room. It was. Oh, it wasn't this window, but it was the other window. So, yeah.
Just a rock.
1 year already.
And at the window.
Oh,
when-
thank God.
No, it's not the approved one.
Okay, it's under.
Let's go.
What is it, 1 year already?
I know.
Rubbish.
No money.
Oh my God. Used to be I find money.
I kept digging in my
Like my phone,
purse.
like,
It says it was
Because
a
I was
lot.
looking for the phone to call my husband.
500.
Yeah.
That's a nice day.
My reaction was I couldn't find it because I was traumatized. And I couldn't find my digging in my purse. I couldn't find it. It was just taking too long. And when I went into home, the phone was in my purse. But you could see it, I was screaming that I kept digging.
You know, I remember I was outside and then I hear banging, and I was like, okay, hurry up, let me get my soda so I can just get in. And then I come in and then I just hear a crash. And then I see someone run and I was like,
It didn't affect me, but
Pizza Hut.
me too.
I couldn't go to work.
I went to Big Island, thankfully, but I'm still traumatized. My therapist was like, it's okay. Don't worry.
I'm gonna start
Remember your
cooking
cooking
the
traps.
other one is late.
Thank you for your flexibility.
Lucky you two that you guys went first.
Okay, cool.
You're right.
We're just.
Cards? Roy, dear hero, nice to meet you.
This is him right here. This is Violet.
Oh, nice to have you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I told him all about
Do a
you,
little
so you
intro.
could get you a job in the city.
Yes.
No, thank you, I'm too tired. I'm still,
Illegal yet?
I got, oh, great news, I got into masters.
Oh, they're nice.
So I'm,
Yeah, congratulations, I saw that.
thank you.
You see?
Masters in social work. And I'm gonna complete it within a year,
Okay,
so.
you did it.
Okay, are we online now?
Yeah.
Good, go ahead.
I'll keep coming over.
MB 15, resume. Go ahead.
Okay. All right, thanks, everyone. This month's presentation is gonna be on fire safety and evacuation plans. So first of all, we did have that fire in Kalihi-Pālama area this morning. A secondary home caught fire from that initial fire. And so another fire actually occurred pretty much concurrently up in Manoa, where one person died. So we're gonna start with smoke alarms. That was the safety tip that the Kalihi Fire Station guys gave tonight. And why do we need them? Because if there is smoke, you get alerted, whether you're sleeping or not. And most of us know how loud the smoke alarms can be. And I'd like to say over 50% of our deaths in burning buildings is because the home did not have working smoke alarms. Okay, next slide. There you go. So this is where you should have your smoke alarms. One on every level of the home if you have a second floor or basement, one in every bedroom, and one in the hallway outside of the sleeping rooms. Next slide. We want you to test it monthly. And so the thing that we like to tell our communities are when civil defense tests their siren, that should give you trigger something in your head saying, oh, I better go home and test my smoke alarm at home. Like the tip tonight, test it monthly. If it takes a battery, a 9-volt battery or other type of battery, please change that battery once a year prior to the thing going beep, beep at 2 o'clock in the morning. So what I've done is I scheduled it in my smartphone, my calendar, and my calendar will just beep and, oh, it's time to change it. And it'll remind me. When you clean it, gently vacuum. Why do we want to clean it? Because dust, spider webs, geckos, dirt can actually have your alarm go off, false alarms. So if you just take a vacuum with the extender on it, vacuum around the holes, at the same time, you can actually, on 8-foot ceilings, press the button with that extension so you don't have to climb any ladders. In the case of testing it for kupuna, take a broomstick, press that button. Get a back scratcher, press that button.
That's a good idea.
Don't climb. And relocate the smoke alarm if it gives you false alarms, because the false alarms actually desensitize the kids, other adults in the home, and when they hear it, they won't act.
Yeah.
Click. So as far as your evacuation plan is concerned, if any of the community members or board members have kids in elementary school age, this is one of the things that is in every single firefighter safety guide that we send out every year. The kids should be drawing a map of their home with their bedrooms, windows, doors, and identifying at least 2 ways out. Most kids can point to 3-4 ways out of their home. Back door, front door, this window, that window. Always have two ways out. You want your evacuation plan to have a location, a meeting location outside of the home but not in front of your house. Because that's where the fire trucks are gonna be going through with their hoses to fight the fire, and you don't wanna be in the way of that. So it should be a neighbor's house tree, neighbor's house mailbox. Even, you know, if you live a small cul-de-sac across the street somewhere, but everyone in the house should know where you're meeting. If Junior goes to the right side neighbor's house, everybody else goes to the left side, Junior is missing, we're gonna go in there unnecessarily to look for Junior. So please, and the other thing I always like to tell parents is when you test your smoke alarms, see what your children do. Do they actually exit the house? They can stand right outside the doorway, wait for you. Adults, you hear that alarm, investigate. Real fire, get there, get outside, take your kids to your meeting place. But kids, a lot of them, to a lot of parents, they do not act when they hear the smoke alarm. They just think of it as an annoyance. Without practice, without drilling, the kids aren't gonna self-evacuate. And in the past, we have had, there was one Palolo fire where 4 kids died, 7 people total. Dad actually got out, but because the 4 kids were missing, he went back in, never came back out. So we don't want to get desensitized, and we want the kids to act when you test that smoke alarm and make sure they get themselves out. That way you won't have to worry about them. All right. Oh, the other thing is please close the doors behind you inside. The importance of closing a door. Heat and smoke will travel the path of least resistance. Just by closing the door, you can actually save a room, save the rest of the house. Hawaii Kai last year, high schooler always closed the door before he went to school. Electrical fire started in his room. His whole room got destroyed. Whole house didn't burn down. It just buys us enough time to get there, shoot the water, put the fire out, and you're able to save everything else in your house. Right? Eventually, it'll go through the door. You're just buying us time to get to your home to extinguish the fire. And that's one of the reasons why most homes, when we get there, fully involved, because all of the windows and doors are open. Okay. We don't have time for this video, but this is the video that closed doors, but go ahead, one more time.
How long is the video?
No, it's kind of long. Yeah. Okay, this is a single wall construction home, and I know Donald was asking about the single wall constructions, right? And yeah, they would normally go up really fast. But this one, the fire blazed down the hallway, one door was closed. Check that room out.
Wow.
So whether it's single wall construction, double wall construction, insulated, newer construction, closing the door makes a difference. Cool. I think I have Marco Polo in here. No, I don't. There was one in Marco Polo that closed their door, fire rated door, got up to 2,000 degrees, and their apartment, the things in there were saved. We don't use elevators because elevators can break down, and if fire's on the lower floors, that's a chimney. You get stuck in there, the smoke's gonna kill you, not the fire, yeah? Next. Security and safety. If you guys do have are worried about people breaking in and stuff, yeah, you can put a deadbolt, but do not put a keyed deadbolt that's keyed from both sides, inside and out. 2 people died in this fire because the key broke off. They were found right at the door. The key broke off, smoke killed them.
Oh no.
And I have seen some Kalihi-Pālama homes with bars on their windows, yeah?
Yes.
You're not gonna get out. If you do deadbolt, have the ones that you can turn with your fingers. All right, next. And same house next. Last thing I'm going to talk about, fire sprinklers. I live in a 1960s Hicks home built. We have renovated when we had the walls opened and the ceiling opened. I actually I put sprinklers, fire sprinklers in my home. Pre-COVID, 2019, 2018, I believe it cost me about $15,000. But with our equity that has gone through the roof, I just took out a little bit extra money during the renovation and put in the fire sprinklers. If any of you have pets, have kids, grandkids come over who may hear the smoke alarm but not act on it, they probably be safe, because the fire sprinklers, the red bulb fire sprinklers like that one, will break and have the water come down at 155 degrees. So fire will be put out really, really fast. My pets are safe when I'm not at home. Yeah. So if you have the equity and decide to renovate, open things up, consider it. Consider it. And I'm gonna stop it right there because, yeah.
I have a quick question.
Yes.
Is there any alternatives or things for people who may be renting when it comes to like fire sprinklers and stuff?
No.
Other than
One of the things that nationally and in Honolulu we say is fire sprinklers are like having a firefighter in your house 24/7. And there's that kind of sounds weird too, but firefighters may not have, they may have a little bit more of, like, they feel comfortable because they're a firefighter when they don't have these types of firefighting things in their home. But I put them in because, yeah, I don't want any of my pets dying, my family dying, and I also don't want to put the firefighters' lives at risk either. Because I've been to fires where the house almost collapsed on me.
Lynn, I have a question. So
Yes.
I live in Waiana apartments. There's only one way out.
Yeah, you got two stairwells though. Stairways, right?
No.
Really?
All our apartments is one way out. You go inside, you go up, and there's only one way out. For most of us, I'm elderly. The only way we're going out if we go out through that window, but there's no balcony or anything.
Right.
So this makes me scared because I don't have, you said two.
How many floors is that?
Well, there's like, you go up the stairway, there's a living room, then you gotta go up again for the bedrooms and the bathroom. And if,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what is a suggestion if?
Got it. Okay, smoke alarms will go off within anywhere from 8 to 12 seconds. When the smoke, you can't even see it, not toxic. I mean, you can like probably walk past the fire and get out. So, as long as you have working smoke alarms and you're checking once a month to make sure they work,
okay,
and as long as they're working, they should notify you with lots of time to get out.
I'll make it out.
You don't have to buy a rope or anything like that to climb down. For 8 to 12 seconds, it goes off.
Get a ladder.
No, you don't need that.
You don't need
Just
that.
wake up. Well, I can't just say that. No, because there have been examples where people very intoxicated don't wake up, or people who are on sleeping meds
And that's what.
The loud noises and smoke alarms, not even that wakes them up. So, I mean, fire sprinklers.
Just quick. Are over time. Oh.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Donald.
How many single wall homes are still alive in Hawaii?
Lots, I think.
Okay, so.
Yeah, I can't give you a number.
Upgrading to
but
drywall is not economically feasible?
Nope, not living here.
Not really. I mean, I did put drywall in my home, almost all of my home, but yeah, construction supplies is big bucks. But drywall won't necessarily save your home either, because what's burning is the things inside, yeah. And all of our carpeting, well, I can't say all, most of the carpeting, furniture, beds, no, it's all synthetic. We're not spending $1,000 for what 2,000 thread count silk or cotton filled pillows, no, or down filled pillows, comforters. Yeah, everything pretty much is synthetic now, which is why. Oh no, I don't have it on now. But our fire.
Fireproof or fire retardant?
It's fire retardant, but up to a certain limit, 500 degrees for 5 minutes. That's it.
How do we plan out for?
I'm sorry, you had a question, Carl?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
How do we plan out for those with wheelchairs? I live on a 6th floor, and 2 people that are in wheelchairs or something that is inaccessible live on the 2nd and 5th floor. So how do we plan out for that?
Is your condo or apartment sprinkler?
I don't know about that part.
Do they have these little? See that cover right there? That
Oh, that's a
circular cover?
sprinkler?
That's a sprinkler.
Oh, nice. Well, I don't think so for that one and my condo.
And you don't see sprinkler heads coming down in your condos. Okay, so it's probably not. I would say wheelchair bound, or if you're unable to move somebody who's non-ambulatory, shelter in place. That means if they're in a bedroom that's not on fire, close the door, grab wet towels, shove it under that crack of the door so that smoke doesn't get in case the fire's outside that door, and call 911 from there and let us know where you are, what unit you're in, and we'll come get you first.
Nice. Feel safe already.
Yes.
Any questions from the community?
When you put the
Thomas, if you can sit by here.
Hey, Thomas, come on. Come on up here.
Save
Mr.
the time
Bear.
and join us next month.
Sorry?
When you put the sprinklers into your house,
Yes.
was it just in the rooms or in the rooms and the hall?
It has to go through DPP, Department of Planning and Permitting. So what's required, if you put sprinklers in, one head on a 8-foot ceiling, one head every 8 feet radius.
Because it goes by square footage.
Yes. So I have one area that's maybe 30 feet by 10 feet. I have 3 sprinkler heads there.
Did it include your garage?
No, but you can.
Would you
You
recommend
can
that?
put. I would. I have a carport.
On that same theme, the way electric cars are having issues, do those sprinklers actually work with electric cars?
No.
I've heard they don't.
If
Because
if
fire load is
if the interior or the car itself or even the gas tank was on fire, yes. But if the lithium-ion battery that runs it is on fire, no.
Because I know some people think about putting chargers. I told them don't put the charger in the garage if you can put it outside, because a lot of times the charger, some of the cars is not
As long as you have good ventilation
Yeah.
in your garage, you should be okay inside. The programming for the cars nowadays, it'll slow and stop the charge when it's done. With that said, water and fire extinguishers will not put that out. We just had a fire this past month or a couple weeks ago at Tony Honda. Brand new electric vehicle. The lithium-ion battery caught fire. They were there 4 hours, just shooting water so that none of the other cars next to it or anything else would catch fire.
I hear they use a lot of water too.
Yeah, the captain I talked to, he said probably over 10,000 gallons of water.
Yeah, I guess the second question of that is, or last question anyway. When you guys are putting those fires out because of the type of metals in the batteries, are you forced to try to, like, because of the toxic materials, any, do you try to contain it, or is there no way it can?
There's no way to do it. If possible, if there's a like a landscaped area, we kind of don't want it to go down the storm drains. Yeah.
Then of course, you guys
But it
are
does.
exposed to that.
But
too,
it does.
right?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And they have a way of cleaning your own.
We have a way of, we take showers and stuff, but our gear is washed and stuff.
I guess the best.
But with that said, nationwide, firefighters have the highest incidence of cancer. Yeah, and it is what it is. I still love the job though.
Would you say
Thank you.
that the firefighters have the highest incidence of what?
Cancer.
Of what?
Cancer.
Cancer. Really?
Yeah. Thank you.
Carl, you've been
Thanks, Mr. Beck.
amazing. Yes. We're gonna move it along, but thank you so much, Carl. And I'll see you in 2 months, right?
2 months.
2 months. Thank you so much.
Great, thanks. Tell you what, in a month and a half, for all you listeners out there or anybody watching after the fact, I'll do my next presentation on the lithium-ion batteries.
Okay, yes.
Alright.
That'd be interesting.
We're gonna be excited. Thank you so much.
And I got video.
Okay, yes, we will watch it. Okay, moving along to residents and community concerns, Roy. I'm sorry, Roy, did you want to?
Can we sit here? Or?
Yes, right there.
Thank you. Okay, great.
And you're going to state your name for the record.
So good evening. My name is Roy Miyahira. I'm the Director of Home Solutions for City and County of Honolulu. Thank you very much for inviting me. I was not part of the agenda, but Amanda had invited me, being contacted the last couple of weeks. I'm not here to answer questions. I know you're going to have plenty of time to ask me those questions maybe in our next maybe town hall meeting, or you can actually call our office if you have a question or something that you've seen that perhaps we could probably solve either on the phone or deploying many of the people that can respond to a homeless situation. A little bit about me. I'm born and raised in Honolulu. Ended up going to high school in the University of Hawaii here. Ended up in the mainland for about 35 years thereafter, where I got some of my professional experience, mostly in the field of logistics and operations. There was some customer service and sales obviously put in there. We worked for a large corporation, but that was mostly what I did and did a good fine job with a company named Nestle Corporation for about 27 years. I did come back to Honolulu to caregive for my parents. I'm still living with my mom and helping her out. But I had answered the call from our Mayor Blangiardi when this job was posted or talked about. And we both felt like it was a good fit, based on my experience prior with Nestle. Even though I don't have a lot of homeless on the ground type of experience, although I did participate in many of the feedings and cleanups in the Bay Area or in Southern California, my job or my skill set bodes well for finding solutions for a crisis that we've had probably for the last recognizably are probably about 15 years. And that's obviously not just here in Honolulu, but in every state, in every county, people are wrestling with the situation where our citizens who have been displaced for many reasons are struggling and need our help. And I mean need our help, meaning all of us. I always feel like we're all stakeholders in our society, and if people are in need, we try to treat them as if they are our own. It's obvious that we're going to have leadership in every neighborhood, every government. I am part of that, as well as Mayor Glenn Jardine. If you've heard his State of the City speech and inauguration speech, you'll notice that the most common theme is finding ways to reduce the homeless situation here in Hawaii. And I'm here, and I'm charged with doing that, along with many, many of our teammates in the city and county, and I intend to make a big difference, a positive impact on my hometown since I'm here. So if there are any short questions, maybe I can just direct you to a person or myself, or table it to the next time. I'm open to answering them at this point if we have time.
I think we're gonna table it, and I'll
Okay.
put you on the agenda next month.
Very good.
It's a good introduction.
Yeah, thank you. Okay. Just so you know, I'm not sporting a cold right now, Cards. I'm just having a little bit of a hacking cough, and therefore I should probably just exit and then come back for the next meeting. Okay.
Sorry. Wait, what did you say?
Oh. And you're standing next to me.
But I'm not wearing my
Okay.
mask.
Yeah.
I'll put you on the agenda next month.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for the
having me.
introduction.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have it. Thank you, Roy. Thank you for all your hard work, and tell the mayor thank you so much.
I will.
All of us. Dale, if you want to mention anything that you've experienced, you can have it.
Okay.
You need to mention your name.
Okay. My name is Dale Krupa. This is about the homeless in the Ibile area, Ibile Road, the new shelter, Kuile Street. So they did the clean sweep, the police, and it's much better. They did that last week, they're all gone. I did walk that way tonight. There is one tent by Sumner Street in Nimitz, which is a tip. They have seemed to have a couple of spots where they always set up at. And the police told me they know what the law is. They know they have the right to be there. I was educated recently by the city council member, Tyler, and he told me it's only every 30 days that they can get people out. And some of them know that. So they're gonna be again behind the Salvation Army on Ibile Road, a strip of them, in another strip in front of Ross and I Just Men's. And they're coming back, and the last time they did the clean sweep, it did last for about 6 weeks, so it was very effective. But I'm told they can do it every 30 days, so I'd like to see HPD do it every 30 days. Get them out, that they're allowed to do that with a 24-hour warning, is what I'm told. But it seems like almost it's organized crime with those two spots, that's where they sell drugs out of the tents. And they look like very unsavory characters. It's not good folks, down on their luck or something. So, and there are also some already in front of the Punawai rest stop that look very destitute. They're in a wheelchair laying on the ground next to it, and that's something they're wearing rags. So they need help, and they're right by help centers, but they don't seem to be getting it. But, and there's also new signs I've never seen before that say no camping. It gives the city ordinance number that you're violating, and those look effective right now. I asked the council member Tyler if they can put more of those up, and he said that's easy for me to request. So I'm hoping they put a whole bunch of those up to discourage the people who don't know what the law is, basically. Because some of them know they have the right to stay there. So, but they also seem to pick and choose. The police seem to, you go down Ibile Road in front of the theater, the cannery, there's half a dozen restaurants. There's never anybody on the sidewalk ever illegally, never. But then you go to businesses that are run down or a vacant lot, and that's where they're at. So it seems like the police are allowing it in some areas, that the law is not being applied fairly. So that's just my observation, but they did a good job of cleaning it up, very good. But I just want to see the police do it as often as they're allowed to by law. That's it.
Thank you so much for the report, Dale.
Okay.
Appreciate you. Okay. Are there any other comments or concerns from the community, maybe online?
Yes, Madam Chair. Oh,
I'm
if
sorry.
you have someone there first.
Can
Yeah,
we
go ahead.
talk to the community first? Yes.
Yes.
I just have a quick PSA, just to let all you guys know.
Can you state your name? You're on
James
record.
Sung.
Thank you.
Quick PSA, all the red light cameras are now speed cameras. And the one on Leaky and School Street, it goes from 35 miles an hour down to 25 miles an hour. Then when you get back on the freeway, it's back to 45 miles an hour. But getting off the freeway, it goes from 45 miles an hour to 25 miles an hour, and it's a speed camera. So fine is $250. So everyone who's, you see there's gonna be a lot of traffic accidents, a lot of road rage, something's gonna happen. But I see that one being the biggest problem on Leaky. All the other ones, you're just doing same speed limit. So that's not a problem. Just letting you guys all know.
And if you could explain to the board who you are, like where you're from.
Oh, I'm from the neighborhood board 16. I'm one of the chair people there.
Kalihi Valley.
Kalihi
So
Valley.
he's from Kalihi Valley. Nice.
Came here trying to work out some joint stuff with this board. Maybe we get something going, because your issues are technically our issues. We do drive to your community. Whatever you guys do affects us. I have to go to your community just to get to work. So, trying to,
And you and cards work together.
and cards come to our meeting. Not all the time, but quite a bit. So
Quite a bit. Nice connection. Donald?
Pālama over here, Pālama, and I think Leaky, or whatever. Vineyard, yeah. There used to be a camera over there, and I don't see it there no more. And I don't see anything being done about speeding. You know what I mean? That kind of anything going on over there, because it just either didn't work out or wasn't as nasty as it was before.
all I know is there's 4 speed cameras / red light cameras on Vineyard. There's 10 in the state. I think half of them are in your guys' district. Not saying why they put them all in your neighborhood board, but it's what it is. I know there's
Because there's a freeway.
4 on
People
Vineyard.
speed on and off.
Instead of
Or they could try to put some in Leaky. I mean, what is your suggestion? Have you spoken to DTS?
we've tried, they refuse to come and visit us. We've
Is there a
requested
reason?
many times for them to come.
Yeah.
They refuse to come.
Who's your connection to DTS, if any?
We had Mimi Zuno and we had
No, maybe Zuna's not DTS.
No, but we had them request back in the time.
Okay, Mizuno.
Can I just add something? If you got my report, you're going to see the list of all 10 of those intersections. I spell it out in my report. And it's there so that you can cut it out and put it on your dashboard so you can be aware of all 10 of the red lights. So that's it. That's it.
Thank you, Senator.
Thank you.
It's a cheat sheet. So you don't get caught speeding.
How many of them are in this area? Do you know?
Yeah, okay, so you got Vineyard and Pālama Street. You got Vineyard and Liliha Street, so going down Vineyard and Nuuanu Street. And you have Vineyard and Pali Highway. And then you got North School Street and Pali Highway, North School Street and Lickilicky Highway, Ward Avenue and South King, Kapiolani Boulevard and Kamakea Street, South Beretania and Piikoi Street, and Macaulay and Eldreboro Street. And I understand they're going to probably add another 5 to 10 this coming year.
That's all over the.
If anybody frequents any of those intersections and has
Deadly.
lived in around, it can be deadly. I have seen accidents and some of them are fatal.
Yeah.
So do we need them? Yeah?
Yeah.
We do,
Yeah,
we do need them.
Yeah, and they do put it up. They're told DOT said they put it where the traffic, there's a lot of traffic, there's accidents, there's all kinds of reports on it. And so they do a really in-depth evaluation before putting it up, because it costs money to do so, costs money to maintain it, and then somebody has to go through all the cameras to check everything. So it's a lengthy process.
Great. Thank you so much, Senator, for chiming in. I appreciate you and that
Welcome.
knowledge. We're gonna move along.
Didn't you have
Oh,
something?
Delia,
Oh,
sorry.
there we go.
Aloha, Madam Chair. I just wanted to speak as a community member about concerns about the recent move out or relocation of our Kuhio Homes residents. I believe we have one on the line who would like to speak as well. And I live on Ahonui Street, right across, just feet away from the Kuhio Homes, where the rebuild will be. And I've often come home and seen my neighbors protesting and holding signs. A couple years ago, we did have Michael's development that was coming kind of regularly to present to this board, and it's been a while because there's been some change in leadership there. And we haven't heard from them as a neighborhood board. They did indicate that they would come at least at a quarterly basis to report out what the relocation was like. We haven't heard from them, so I am concerned. The move has been occurring, and a lot of the residents have not felt that they've been treated fairly or received the information or help that they were promised. Please also, there on Hawaii News Now and Civil Beat recently put out a very thorough article interviewing several of the residents as well as members of the administration regarding that. So I just wanted to share that I'd like to ask Michael's development and the state to tell a story with our board or present out at a future, maybe next month or the month after, about how the relocation efforts are going. And I just wanted to share that. And I know we have a resident online now. Thank you very much, Chair.
If I can yield, so that conversation, I've been on record many times over, and even to just recently this past week, for Hawaii Public Housing or somebody of authority. You're dealing with the state. Silence crickets. Hard for make them move. Hard for get anybody to do anything to have a correspondence. I can leave as many voicemail messages as I can, and I push everybody on this board to do the same. It's hard. It's hard. At the end of the day, we can also talk to the representative for that area. So it falls on that too, if they can. And I believe who's the representative now is Shirley Temple. It's Shirley Temple. So if we can have her call her to try to take that up, by all means.
Just a quick question regarding that too. We can't do a resolution, or even if we try, it's kind of like frugal.
It's the state, they own the land, and it's owned by the feds. That KPT is
long time
for ever since it was created. Before, when it was originally just 2 towers and nothing else existed. I don't know if anybody else can go back in time for 45 years. So that is all federal land.
It's state of Hawaii. So state of Hawaii, it's housing. It's under that. It's not federal land. However, there's funding from the feds for housing because it is public housing. So they have to abide by certain federal. So for example, I had a hard
time. Hold on. I had a hard time getting some HPD even there. It was a fight between if it's the sheriff's, because it goes back to the money. Who enforces it? Who's got the money? Who holds the purse? It comes from the feds. Guess what? Majority of Hawaii is all run by federal money. It's all run. Programs and everything. So, long story short, Delia, we gotta move on. But long story short, though, we gotta have the help of Shirley Temple, because we're gonna find the answer here. I've held how many times? But Michael, you're right. They've changed hands so many times.
Well, who's our senator for that district?
I am, and I can respond if you folks want me to respond now.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Bring clarity.
So this matter has been, we have been talking with, we've met with some of the nonprofits who came out months and months ago. I shouldn't say months and months. I would say November, December, Palama Settlement got involved as well. They had a group of them come down to the Capitol, sat down with legislators. We have sat down with HPHA. I've talked with the director. I recall when Michaels came in, I raised a lot of concerns with them and initially and how the transfer of residents are going to take place when they have to displace them. My understanding, and according to the records, we've shown that they have had meetings with the residents from June of last year, and they gave them notice that they would have to move by the end of the year, that they gave them options to move either into other public housing, or if they went into private housing, they got vouchers. They were given vouchers to do that. They tried to keep them within the area if possible. However, there's not a lot of homes out there that is vacant to put the residents in. So it's been a long process. They heard from the residents, they were having trouble. They extended the deadline beyond December into January, into February. They've had meetings with the church and the residents, from my understanding. And so, you know, there's a handful, from what I understand, a handful of residents that have not felt satisfied, but they have relocated the majority of them, is what we're told. And so, you know, I know they want to stay next to where they've lived. They want to stay where their kids are going to school, but there's just no place available. So, but they have vouchers. If they can find places, they're giving them full vouchers. And these are emergency vouchers. So not like the Section 8 vouchers, but emergency vouchers that they're paying for their relocation and for their rents until such time that they will be given, I believe, first right to come back to when it's completed, when the project is completed. So that's what I can share with you. Now, I'm not sure, you know, that everybody will agree or some of the residents will agree on the process, but that is what we were given, information as well as documentation.
All righty, thank you, Senator Donna Mercado Kim, for the clarity and the information, because I know it to be as such of that. Going back a couple of years, people have had the opportunity. You can't make everybody happy. Welcome to the community, right?
Right. Unfortunately, yeah.
It's just the way it is.
Yeah, and you folks have to understand that public housing was not meant to be from birth to grave. Public housing.
My family was in public housing. I came from public housing. It is not meant for people to just stay on it perpetually for generations.
Yeah, it's supposed to be.
About that. People have the resources and they have the time to make something of themselves. I'm not saying people didn't, but my family
transitional. Yeah, and so after, you know,
taxpayers have to pay. No way.
After 10 years, then, you know, you have new families, young families coming in, and there's no way to put them because you have people that's been there 20, 30 years.
Generation.
Yeah.
I raised my kids with the right housing. I was out of there after.
They know better. They know better. They knew better. Anyway, we're moving along.
Pardon me, respectfully, we have a resident here, and she would like to speak, and she's actually someone living there and has been a vocal advocate respectfully in the community and in a lot of the interviews. So Lehua is online now, and she's a resident. I think it would behoove us to respectfully listen to her. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Lehua. Yes, so I do currently live in KPT. I'm a longtime resident here. Things have been working out for us, but I totally understand what you mean by public housing isn't forever. Like, I totally agree with that. I have 3 daughters though, you know, and I already have like a good or like a decent paying job that requires me to be there from like 7 to 5. But the cost of living out there isn't as, you know, like sustainable for me and my 3 girls. If I only get like less than $2,000 per, you know, as far as my pay goes, it doesn't accumulate to the $3,000 to $4,000 for a 3-bedroom outside of public housing. So it is kind of difficult. And because the clinics and the schools, everything is closed intact, we grew, you know, like there's no other community that can understand the melting pot that we already have, like as a community here with the Micronesians, with the Tongans, with the Samoans. A lot of times people don't want to be neighbors with them, but we grew to adapt and love and respect them. So, and then we're the ones that able to like correct them and then straighten things out with them, you know. We do actually thrive as one. But what's taking place right now and what people don't understand, and yes, HPHA is making it like seem like everything is working out. It is, you know, but it's not. Not unless they came to us indirectly, you know, and then talk with us. Not Ben, not Hakeem. No one's coming out here to help us. It's not Seneca, who is in, like taking calls from LA. Not TMO. No one came to meet with us. We urged and we tried and we pleaded with them, like to meet with us, you know, sit with us because it's hurting the families. So we're dealing with tenants with cancer. Yeah, and she said like this whole thing has been depleting her health. And then I already have a neighbor next door. She passed away. She couldn't even see her new place with the price voucher. And she was pushed all the way out to Makakilo, which she was willing to take because she didn't want to risk eviction, which the Hawaii Affordable Property Manager did. They came in here and they barked at us and they said, you don't pick Camp 4 housing, you don't pick Marites, you don't pick any of these public housing, then just get evicted then, you know, straight up like that. Like no one's coming to us and getting the story straight out from the tenants. That's why we are like, we're not against development or anything, but the way that they're doing it is they draw up this nice plan, they said what they're gonna offer, and then 2 years later, they switched it up. They got our signatures and everything, and then they switched the whole plan around. So it kind of screwed us up in the end or in the long run. And I don't know what else, you know, like we're trying to come and like, you know, we're not against the redevelopers or anything, but right now plans are, we spoke with Ben and Hakeem, they're not even getting in contact with Seneca. Seneca has no idea that there's a HPHA meeting tomorrow, so nobody's really communicating. Nobody knows anything, nobody's on the same page, and we're the ones suffering from all of this. Us, the tenants, that have to deal with this.
Okay.
Hear you.
That's good clarity. Thank
And
you
like
for
they're pushing all the
mentioning that.
disabled folks into like broken, dilapidated units, you know, places that haven't been upkept or like outside of Kalihi. Like they said, they forced them, you know, and told them if you don't pick this place, you go to Waianae. So they're supposed to just root up their families, you know, with the decent clinics here, with the schools here, and then push us all the way out there, where like, or even a town that they don't know life, you know, they don't know how to live out there. So these are the kind of supports, or like we're not even getting like counseling, we're not getting the support. Hakeem is saying all these things, but it's not true. The numbers are not adding up compared to what we have here. So like they'll say like, oh yeah, 25, you know, like there's only like 25 or less than 25% of us here. But really, there's like more than that. And I guess plans are like they're only trying to implement 1 up to 3 bedrooms, which we had no idea about. And the parking, which we had no idea about, you know, like, and visitations with families, which a lot of times the people under Michaels are saying that they don't offer because they kick people out. So it's kind of difficult to trust, like, who do we trust?
Got it.
Okay.
Thank you for the clarity, Lehua. I appreciate your honesty. Evelyn.
Hi, so I'd like to add to what she is saying and to testify to the fact that Hakeem, HPHA's head, really is not one who communicates with the public. And this is coming from a landlord's perspective because I've had issues with Hakeem and his Section 8 office and how they say they come to the landlords and they tell the landlords what they can do. Like now they are above the landlords. Like the landlords will come to them, I have this to offer, I'm offering my housing for someone who has a voucher. Now they turn around and they tell me, oh, I'll tell you when I'll pay you.
No.
That's what Hakeem is telling me.
Oh.
So that in and of itself is shady business from HPHA. Right. And I hear what she's saying because a year or so when they came to our board to discuss what was going on, I asked about the parking. Yeah. I asked about the parking specifically, and now I hear directly from someone who lives there, there's not going to be anything to accommodate them. And it sounds so familiar how they shut down the people that they provide these services for. And all of this Senate bills that's coming down the pipes, that's asking for tens of millions of dollars to support the renovation. Really, it's in the making to displace these people who really need the support from the ground, boots in the ground, and grassroots people like us at the neighborhood board. So I'm glad that you're here, Lewa, to voice your concern. Because I hear you.
May I also add that the 90-day notice that was given to us back in September was far from promising. I'll just say that. It was far from promising because we thought that we would have like first choice, like or to actually decide on where we wanted to go before we came back. And it wasn't like that at all. Like they just put down, they didn't even consider any of our options, actually. They just wanted us to pick and choose where they wanted us to go. That's how the communication went.
Thank you. Lehua, you have any phone numbers or anybody that they gave you? Any contacts that you can?
I have 30 of them. I have 30 phone numbers. I've been door to door with some of them. KKV is being very supportive with just communicating with us. They we don't expect everybody or anyone to do anything for us, but just to have that backbone or that support. PACT is also being very supportive. We're all self-advocating because the people that are supposed to be in charge of this project is not doing anything with us. It's Sleepy Beach. It's PACT. It's the tenants here. Where is the accountability in that?
So
Everybody thinks
Lehua, can I ask you where is it that you folks wanted to go to? What was your option that you wanted that they could not meet?
So my family, I live with my parents. My parents, he's a diabetic, so I'm dealing with elderly in my home. They wanted to go to Ka'ahumanu housing. But I know that now, from doing homework, they're undergoing their own redevelopment. But I had to do that on my own, because they were saying, no, that's not an option. There's no units available, nothing. And majority of the time, like Camp 4 housing, some of the places are not sustainable. Even Mare Rights isn't sustainable. We've shown it, and not only Civil Beats, and not only Honolulu Star Advertiser, but also Hawaii Public Radio.
Okay, well, that's the problem because the units aren't available. So the only alternative would be not to renovate and just leave you folks there because this, the units aren't available.
We currently have sustainable living here. I'm not saying that KPT is something, problematic. I'm saying they can just fix up the place and upkeep it. They've already tested out the soil, right? If they did all of that, they know that this place is in good standing.
They're renovating it and they're replacing it so they can put more units. But the problem is, and I asked them this, what is the transitional housing? Because it's only what's available and the units aren't available.
Right. Well, put it this way.
Leave them there.
You had no idea that the new unit that they're about to build is only going to be 3 bedrooms or less. And you're speaking about 4 bedrooms here. So that's the one that they're having a very difficult time moving. And Section 8 is not we had, we did it ourselves. Me and my father called realtors. Me and my father spoke to some people, if it's Section 8 compatibility, there's none.
Lehua, sorry, we have to cut you off. We have over you 3 minutes. Can we have a 10-minute presentation with you next month? If possible?
May.
Or May. Oh, it's right. Oh, okay, no worries.
But can I please add, if the difficulty is dealing with us and we're just a part of phase 1, think about phase 2 and 3, and think about Ka'ahumanu. These are the challenges that we're going to deal with. I wanted to just.
We want to give you more time. We just can't give you any more time tonight.
No worries. Okay.
But I want you to come back.
Let me just say that you can invite Hakeem to come to your board. I can call him and ask him. We did it for
I'll tell him tomorrow at the HPHA
so we can
meeting.
do that. And just remember 2-3 years ago when they were proposing this, I had opposed some of it, and there weren't a lot of people that came out to oppose it. So I just want to put that forward. So in fact, the residents supported it. So I just want to put that.
Salving me.
Thank you, Senator.
Senator and Nihua will be having this on my agenda in May, so please be prepared for that.
Just one quick question. Can we have Amazon back? I would like to hear.
Yeah, we can talk about that.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
We gotta
Okay,
get to
that's
all
it.
these.
I know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
let's
almost
go through
9.
all of this now.
Sorry, we're gonna run through things pretty quickly. Mayor Rick Blangiardi's representative, Stephen Courtney. Is he on?
He is on.
You're
Deputy
muted.
Director Stephen Courtney? If he's not answering, we're gonna.
Deputy?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, great. Okay, good evening to Kalihi-Pālama neighborhood board members and residents. My name is Stephen Courtney, the mayor's representative and deputy director for the Department of Information Technology. I would like to start with some highlights from the mayor's newsletter. The link can be found in the chat. Exploring Oahu through art and Mo'olelo. Something exciting is happening across Oahu. The city and county of Honolulu kicked off phase 1 of Kalihi-Pālama, Story Places last month, a new public art initiative that brings our island's rich cultural history to life, led by the Mayor's Office of Culture and the Arts and supported by a $1 million grant from the Bloomberg Philanthropies Public Art Challenge. This project transforms familiar spaces into living spaces through art installations. Throughout February, new pieces have been built in locations across Honolulu at Fort Street Mall, Fort Jerusalem, and Operation Red Wings Medal of Honor Park. A holistic new approach to homeless care. Last month, Mayor Blangiardi and Governor Green jointly unveiled an innovative new transitional shelter to address homelessness on Oahu. The facility called Kumu Ola'au Iwile Transitional Center prioritizes brain and behavioral health, especially for homeless individuals with a history of mental health, memory, or brain injury challenges. Flood insurance rate map appeals info. The Federal Emergency Management Agency recently restudied flood hazards across multiple streams on Oahu and has released a preliminary update to the island's flood insurance rate maps. As part of the update process, a 90-day public appeal and comment period will be open from March 13th through June 10th, allowing residents to appeal changes to their property's flood risk designation, provide comments on the maps, and ask questions. Oahu earns National Bicycle Friendly recognition. The League of American Bicyclists recently designated Honolulu as a bicycle-friendly community at the silver level. 2025 neighborhood board election voting begins Friday, April 25th and ends May 16th. Departmental issues follow-up. Member Culling noted that she has been submitting requests through Honolulu 311 app. On March 4th, 2025, HPD conducted a check on Aiki Street. The abandoned limousine mentioned in her complaint was towed away and is no longer on Aiki Street. HPD issued citations to vehicles on Aiki Street for delinquent vehicle tax and expired safety check. The vehicles were also marked as abandoned vehicles and will be checked at a later time. In the future, community members may also call the Department of Customer Services abandoned/derelict vehicle office at 808-768-2530. It can also be found on the Honolulu 311 app. Select More at the bottom right, then select General, and then select abandoned vehicle. Regarding member Collins' concern about the new homeless individuals on Aiki Street, for now, we don't have a response from the Department of Community Services. But please reach out to CORE Community Outreach Response and Engagement if there are concerns about homeless individuals or groups in your neighborhood that need help. You can email honolulucore@honolulu.gov or call CORE hotline at 808-768-2673 to ask for assistance. This line is for non-emergencies only, and calls will be returned as soon as possible. in regards to the diesel generators at Eva Lake, Kalihi. The residents would like to know what alternative power sources or long-term solutions the city is considering instead of the diesel fuel generators. No response from the Department of Community Services at this time. If you have an issue with the city to report, please use Honolulu 311 app. And HNL.info is your one-stop shop for updates from the city. That concludes the mayor's report. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Any concerns?
No.
Or
Thank you so
no
much. Concerns at all.
Almost 9. Any questions from the community? Okay. Thank you so much, Stephen.
Okay, thank you.
I'll see you next month. Moving along to council member reading Cordero or representative.
Neighborhood board members, first off, I want to say I'm so glad that Mr. Miyahira was there to try get on your agenda next month. He had amazing things to say about your chair, Chair of Ibanez. So I'm very excited to see him work with you, Chair, as well as the whole neighborhood board to address issues. I do want to go to my report, whether it be online or in front of you. I'm going to go backwards, okay? So really quick, April 1, please show up to our Tuesday town hall about Kamehameha schools. We're going to get updates about choke questions that we had before regarding Dillingham Plaza, as well as Kalihi-Pālama Kai. And that will be from 6 to 8 p.m. at Kalihi Elementary School. Next, I do want to go to the second to the last page. There's information about, I know that Director Babcock showed up at the neighborhood board last month, and there's more outreach about the sewer fee increase. And I guess, Board Member Cullen, I got your text and was responding to you at the last neighborhood board. And then, so check out that information. We also have information for any appeals to the FEMA flood map insurance rate maps. So that information is there. I'm really trying to hurry up. Next up, we're going through on the next page, if we're going backwards, we're going through our fiscal year budget. My fellow council member, Tyler DeSantos-Tam, is a new budget chair. He's doing amazing. He had our budget briefings. And it's a very, 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 very tight budget. Lots of no wiggle room, because we've been dedicating a lot of the funding for either federal funding lapses or not lapses, but loss or other types of funds, including temporary hazard pay. Next, I do want to show you that we had legislative updates, something related to wheelies. We need this because not all two-wheeled things are e-bikes, some of them are not e-bikes. So you can read that. I do want to bring your attention to the two Farrington updates. First off, we got to join with Representative Templo with the Farrington Alumni and Community Foundation meeting and brunch. As you can see, you have your board member Josa there with her peace sign in the third photo. And also, another thing that's so awesome about Farrington is, as you can see here, 2025 is the year of the community forest, and Farrington and Kalihi is leading the way. We put about 20 plus trees and plants for 20 plus trees along North King Street, but also on Farrington's campus. We've been doing this since the beginning of December, and we hope to continue that. Okay, and we have constituent updates also on the first page. I do want to note Board Member Cullen's concerns regarding Kalihi Street. It shouldn't be an avenue, but Kalihi Street. She knows well the updates about TPP submitting the notice of violation. She sent us more photos that we are going to be continuously transmitting to DBP. And there's more follow-ups there. And that's my update. Just really want to go really quick, but we hope to see you once again April 1 for our town hall. And just want to thank you all for staying involved. Mahalo.
Thank you so much. Any questions from the board? Donald, go ahead.
Are you responsible for North School Street between Lanakila and Cam's shopping center?
Unfortunately, that is not my district, but I am here to take in
Okay,
your
that's
concern.
okay.
And Lynn is here as well from Councilmember DeSantos-Tams.
It's Tyler's responsibility. Any questions from the community? No. Here. Thank you so much, Radiant. We're gonna move it along to Tyler.
Yep.
Tyler DeSantos-Tam or representative. Thank you so much, Radiant.
Aloha, can everyone hear me okay?
Yes.
Yes. Aloha, Chair. Aloha, board members and community members. I'm going to be super, super quick. I put the link to council members' newsletters in the chat. One quick update that the Pacific Gateway Center and Refugee and Immigration Law Clinic has a free workshop assisting lawful permanent residents and non-citizen U.S. veterans with naturalization applications. This will be held at the UH Law School Clinic from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. There's appointments required, and you can call 808-956-0836. I also just want to do a quick reminder that April 12th is the K-Vibe Ahupua'a ride, that annual ride. So there's a QR code in the newsletter to be able to register for that ride. And we've successfully shut down some more illegal game rooms. There's investigations ongoing, but we need the help of the public. So if you suspect there's an illegal game room in your community, you can report that at the HPD Narco Voice Line, 808-723-3933. I will put my contact information into the chat. I also just wanted to follow up with the community member that had the concerns about the homeless in Iwilei returning. You can, although there won't be comprehensive, what we tend to call sweeps with DFM and HPD, if there's a sweep and you see that there's someone blocking a sidewalk or that there's anything that would be a threat to public health or safety, you should call 911. But I know that the no camping signs were mentioned, and council member circled back with me. So tomorrow I will be putting in that request with the Department of Facility Maintenance, asking for the no camping signs over in the area. And with that concludes my report, but I'd be happy to take anything back to the council member.
I just wanted to mention that thank you so much for listening to Dale and his concerns for Iwilei. In and around that area, there's been a lot of issues going around with Ala Park and the drug dealing, the drug peddling, the violence, the property damage, you name it, it's been occurring, and that is on the regular. So thank you so much. Can you please relay that message to Tyler for all his hard work? Donald, go ahead.
Are you responsible for North School Street between Cam Shopping Center and Lanakila?
Yes, sir. How can I help?
I need you to tell your leader to cut that damn grass on the sidewalk. It's 3 feet high. Please.
Okay, so we're at North School.
North
between
School
what
and Lanakila and Cam Shopping Center. The sidewalk, the grass that's growing next to the sidewalk and the street is 3 feet tall in some areas.
Okay, I will put in a request to get that grass trimmed.
Please.
Thanks for bringing it to our attention.
Yes, ma'am, it's very unattractive.
And dangerous.
That's the right place.
Okay.
Lanakila.
Any questions from the community?
North School Street.
No? All right. Thank you so much, Lynn. Have a good night. I'll see you next month.
Take care.
Take care. Okay, thank you for your patience, U.S. Army Garrison Hawaii Military Report. Selena.
Good evening, Chair, members of the board. Hi, how are you? Okay, so we just have 2 or 3 announcements. We're still having our job fairs. So the non-appropriated funds jobs that are occurring within the garrison are not under the direct leadership of the DoD. So these are separate pot of money, if that makes any sense. So they're still hiring, even though there's a federal freeze for government or general schedule employees. These other employees, which are not part of that direct chain of command, are still being hired. So our next hiring fair is April 22nd over at Eliamanu at the gym. It opens up to 8:30 and then goes to 2. Okay. We're doing training still on Central Oahu. However, there have been times where some of the helicopters come over this way.
Yes.
So if there's any concerns, please feel free to give us a call. And then it's always best if you tell us exactly the day and approximate time, but the day is important so that we know that it's us and not another service.
Okay.
And then the very last announcement I have is the National Vietnam Veterans Day Parade. It's on the 29th of March. There's going to be a ceremony at 4:30 at Fort Jerusi, and then the parade starts at 6 down Kalakaua Avenue.
Fantastic. Any questions from the board? Any questions from the community? Hearing none, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for your patience.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. Now for the state elected officials, we're gonna have to run through this, and maybe just one highlight and put the newsletter in the chat box. Senator Carl Rhodes.
Aloha, my name is Peyton. I am the representative for Senator Carl Rhodes. A new updated 2024-2025 COVID vaccine has been approved for use. COVID shots are now similar to flu shots in that they target the most prevalent strain of COVID. This vaccine is not meant to prevent symptoms of every COVID variant. Rather, the aim is to protect against severe illness, hospitalization, and death. Flu shots are also available as the flu is particularly widespread this year. You can now test for little fire ants for free by going to www.stoptheant.org and request an ant identification collection kit. You can also call the statewide pest hotline at 643-PEST, that's 643-7378. If your home tests positive for little fire ants, the Oahu Invasive Species Committee will conduct a survey for your property to eradicate the problem at no cost to you. Senator Rhodes also introduced a Senate Bill SB 405 related to neighborhood board meetings. The intent of SB 405 is to allow neighborhood boards to receive and discuss information from third-party reports by a government official not included in a publicly noticed agenda, provided that the discussions on matters raised by third-party reports shall be made at a later meeting preceded by a public agenda giving notice of decision-making. SB 405 passed through Senate, and the House is now considering this measure. Please don't hesitate to call our office at 808-586-6130 with any questions.
Any questions from the board? Any questions from the community? Hearing none, thank you so much. We're gonna be running through this, I'm sorry. Senator Donna Mercado Kim, I believe you
Hello,
gave a lot.
everyone.
Already, yeah, aloha.
You heard from me quite a bit already tonight, so I did
Yes,
send
you
out
have.
my newsletter. My session aide, who's also University of Hawaii senior, going to graduate. Crystal Castile is also on board at this meeting as well. I just wanted to sort of introduce her. Let's see. So we are in the middle, almost past middle of the session. The Senate bills crossed over to the House bills crossed over to the Senate, and we are in second lateral, going to second lateral now. So you guys talked about certain bills that you were talking about earlier. Pretty much by next month, we'll be in conference for all of those bills. So, and we end on May 4th, I believe, is the last day of session. So the last 2 weeks of April will be all conference. Going into conference. There are a number of bills that I did highlight on the newsletter. One that I just want to talk about real quickly is the bill, Senate Bill 438, that prohibits any construction of landfills over the aquifer. And I know that concerns you guys as well as a lot of us on this island. I did talk about the red light cameras. It is on the newsletter, so you can get that. If you don't have it, you can call my office and we'll certainly send it to you. Let's see, really quickly, there's a new pilot program to improve transportation safety of mobile containers and traffic congestion on Nimitz Highway. So you folks might be interested in that. It's DOT and Young Brothers are collaborating in this program to improve the flow of goods and safety and traffic conditions for all of those that travel that corridor on the Nimitz corridor. So if you want more information on that, you can contact DOT, HDOT, Miss Dree Kaili. And finally, the tax man is coming April 15th, and the deadline for that to file your taxes, you can get free tax help with a Legal Aid Society, the Honolulu Community Action Program, and that's at Kalihi-Pālama District Service Center, Tuesdays and Thursdays from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. So if you want more information, you can check Hawaii Tax Help. And with that, I'm open to any questions.
Okay, I'm gonna start off. So, Senator, I wanted to say thank you for the clarity. Because no matter who it is in this community, could be the people, the community, and the elected officials, right? That taxpayers pay in order to do the right thing. Now, if for instance, going back to Hakeem is not telling the truth or somebody is not following through for the most vulnerable population, then that is wrong. Because I will hold everybody accountable. I don't have a problem with that. Okay? Either way, doesn't matter.
Now, well,
So
you guys
whatever
know,
else-
you guys
whatever
know
needs to
that I
happen.
hold everybody accountable, including UH, including everybody. I get beat up a lot in the media because I do that, but.
So please, whatever needs to happen, if people are not being treated right, they're not being told the right thing, they're being lied to, they sign something and all of a sudden it's not what they intended it to be, that's wrong.
Yes, and I've checked up on those. Trust me, I've heard the complaints as well. So that's why I recommend you folks request for Hakeem to come. I will put in the call if you tell me when, for May, and
May.
have him or
May.
Ben or both of them to be at your meeting. So
Senator, both in May, please. I would
okay.
appreciate that.
What's the exact date in May for your meeting?
Let me pull it up. May 21st, Wednesday, May 21st.
May 21st. Okay, I will put that down.
Thank you
I
so
will
much.
contact him and then I will send you an email, Chair.
Question,
Yes.
Senator.
Go ahead.
Will they have a meeting tomorrow? A lot of them are facing evictions. What about Lehua? Can we stop any evictions for them not to be evicted at this point?
Well,
Can we help her?
that's not our call. We don't decide who gets evicted, who's not. But when we talk with them, when I talked with them in December and January, they gave them notice about the deadlines and that at some point they had to pull the plug as far as evictions. So I don't have a say.
But what she said to us tonight was that they were blindsided. That's not fair to them.
Absolutely, if they were blindsided, but my understanding, and again, I'm not contradicting her, but my understanding of the documentations, we've seen the letters, we've seen the number of meetings that were held, we've seen the number of vouchers, we've seen all of that, the delay of the evictions, they've extended the time more than once, several months, so it's gonna go on 9 months now that they've had notice about this. And they've been given options, but you cannot find exactly the same thing that they have at KPT. You may not be able to find a 3-bedroom unit with parking if for temporary to be displaced. I mean, where are you going to put them? So I told the nonprofits that when they came to see us and had the questions as to what do you guys have? Do you have places that they can go? Do you have the services that can help the residents as well?
Right,
Because
but
they
is it-
provide the services.
But is it true that some of the apartments that they were shown were boarded up at Camp Fort Road? So a lot of these people, we have to listen to the people that
Yes.
they're trying to evict. The stories are true. So that's what I'm saying.
Yes, I agree, but again, I don't make that decision and I don't trump, none of the legislators trump the directors in order to do that. You have to go to the governor for that. I mean, they don't listen to us. I can ask them to come to your
Let's go to the
meetings.
governor. Let's go to the governor then.
Yeah, well, that's what you.
Shall we go to the governor?
The rep is
Sorry,
down.
Carter.
Just 2 quick questions, especially since we're rushing. In terms of federal funding being cut, have you taken any precautions to fund higher education at any of the UH community colleges and universities? Because I'm getting into social work master's next year and I don't want to see a tuition increase, hopefully, if possible. And also, if fundings are being cut and people, for example, will be evicted, is there any precautions to make sure that there is a fallback plan? If that makes sense, if someone doesn't, if they don't accept the vouchers, is there a second plan behind that?
Okay, let me try and take your first question about UH. So right now, we met with Schatz just yesterday with a caucus with Senator Schatz. Even he can't tell us whether things are going to be definitely cut. As far as your tuition at the University of Hawaii, the Board of Regents plan to raise your tuition even before this. So the federal cuts have nothing to do with your tuition. What have to do with your tuition is them using tuition dollars to pay for other things that's not related to students. So if I was you, I would get together with your other students in your student union or whatever you're called to object to a lot of this stuff. But I am fighting the UH by myself. There's nobody else fighting the UH and I get beat up for them. So I think the students got to stand up and fight for that. You have a student regent that is going to vote on for your tuition increase. So, I mean, I don't have control of your tuition increase. Second question, if there's a fallback, well, the fallback from what I understand was that they could go to any public housing that had units available, which is Camforth housing, where Merritt housing, where they had open units. Obviously, they cannot displace somebody that's already there and put somebody else in. Then they had the emergency vouchers. They could go anywhere on this island with the emergency voucher. So that's been the fallback. And other than that, I mean, unless you're willing to give up your rooms or your homes or something, there's a shortage of housing on the island. So I don't know where they would put them. And if we do Kahale, that's not even a bedroom, that's a studio unit for a Kahale, right?
Yeah.
So to find to find low-income 3-bedroom houses, like homes like they have at KPT is very difficult, very difficult. And the alternative again is make no improvements and let the units run down. People can stay, and at some point they got to move out if you're going to fix it, right? So I understand the plight, but I don't know what the solution is.
Understood.
Thank
you, Senator.
Just before we move on, I just want to say thank you for calling in, Senator, and listening closely enough to jump into the conversation and help contextualize and provide accurate information. It's really awesome of you to be up with us this late.
Absolutely. That's why I get paid the big bucks.
There you go.
But we get beat up for it anyway, but thank you.
Thank you, Senator, for all your clarity and your patience.
Thank you.
Have a good night. See you next month.
You too. I'll still listen in case you need me to jump in.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you. Moving on to Senator Glenn Wakai.
Haven't seen any rep.
Or no rep, okay. And then moving along to Representative Danny Hall.
No rep.
Representative Shirley Templo.
She's on.
Aloha board, thank you very much for hearing me tonight. Shirley Templo here, representative for District 30. I appreciate all the talks you guys are having and the concerns in the community. I really appreciate it. And special thanks to Senator Kim. I have to echo what she has been saying. We have been meeting with the different departments and the community and trying to ensure that the voices are being heard. I will talk and reach out to Lehua directly after this meeting. But to save time, I just want to mention a few things, like reiterating what Radiant said. Please join our community meeting. There's a lot of things that are needed to be learned, a lot of information. I'm so glad that some of you attended our joint meeting, the last one, the first one, but please join the second one on April 1st. Also, I wanted to let you guys know that I'm on 3 committees. First one is economic development. Second one, I'm vice chairing for tourism. And the third, I'm on finance. We're working on the budget, the state budget right now. And there's a lot of uncertainty. Right now, we're planning on most likely going to a special session to see and address whatever the federal administration is doing. But at the Capitol, we're working hard. We're trying to ensure that we're representing you guys well. And also, I just wanted to also congratulate board member Lynn Vasquez. We honored her this week for her 20 years in service for the Slipper Foundation. So, going on her, and I'm here for questions. Also, wait, I want to mention 3 things we're working on for CIP. We're trying to update the fire systems for Farrington High School. We're trying to work on the roof repairs for Kalihi-Kai and get money for AC replacement at Kalihi-Waina. With that being said, is there anything else I could help you guys with?
Any questions from the board? Go ahead, Lloyd.
Lloyd Pālama, I'd just like to say thank you for taking care of the concerns on Wiki Street. After reaching out to you, I don't know if it was you and you'd radiate, but yeah, thank you guys, because it's been getting better back there.
I think it's pretty good that we're all, trying to work together. Um, I appreciate you guys' concern because really you guys are our voices and you guys have pretty good representation who really wants to work for you. So kudos to my counterparts. Thank you for being very collaborative. I'm just new here in the game and I was a board member like you guys and I'm trying to, ensure that I'm doing the best for our community. So please keep on staying in contact with us. I really appreciate it. And even if it seems that I'm not at your meetings, I really am trying to be there. So thank you for being patient with me.
Go ahead.
Okay, first of all, thank you, Representative Templo, for the certificate yesterday. It really touched my heart. But also, thank you for following up with Lehua. It really bothers my heart right now because, of course, I work with the homeless. They have a meeting tomorrow, and if you could help her, that would be marvelous. I mean, somebody is crooked over there. I don't like when they play games with people that is underprivileged. And please keep us, let us know what happens, okay? Because if we have to go to because I'm a fighter, and I always fight for the underprivileged. If we have to go to the governor's office, I haven't fought for a long time. I will.
She's ready.
Yes,
I'm ready.
If we need to go, we go.
We go. Okay? Like you said to me yesterday, I'm a titter, yeah? We titters.
Yeah, we like it.
Okay? So, I'm ready.
I'm along with you.
Yeah.
We go.
We go.
All right. We have to go. So Shirley, thank you so much. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Now we have Governor Josh Green's representative, Dre.
Thank you, Chair. Aloha, this is Dre. I've put the governor's newsletter in the chat. The thing that I just want to highlight is Operation Hire Hawaii, which is the initiative that the state is undertaking to hire federal employees that may have lost their employment. And the rest of the details are in the newsletter. And then it's already been mentioned on the call, but we did start the YB pilot project to alleviate the congestion on Nimitz. And there might be different truck activity on a weekly to alleviate that congestion. But we think we are monitoring it. It went live on Monday. It runs on Mondays and Thursdays. And just I'll be available for any other questions. I know you guys were running short on time, but if you all have my email address, if you need more details, happy to provide that. I also want to thank you, Chair, as well as Member Cullen for coming out to the memo announcement about the
Okay.
I have a question.
Okay. Lynn has a question, Dre.
Aloha. Good evening, Dre.
Aloha.
This is Board Member Lynn Vasquez. I'm like to say something about they have an eviction notice at the Hawaii Housing Authority tomorrow. This is a plea to the governor. I'd like to have him look into that and stop that meeting or stop that and talk to Hakeem in stopping that eviction. Tell him that Lynn Vasquez from the Slipper Foundation is requesting to stop that eviction. Otherwise, I go to his office. I mean, aside from the silliness, but I'm really serious about it. If he could look into that matter.
Sure thing. So I've been on listening into the discussion since the start of the meeting, and I've taken some notes and happy to put that in an email to Governor's office tonight.
Thank you so much, dear. God bless.
I would like to add on to what Lynn has mentioned, Dre, that this community has a lot of challenges that everyone faces every single day. What we do not want to do is push people from public housing onto the street for them to become homeless too. We are already dealing with so much. And the emotions come from a place of passion that I see people suffering, and I have been through it myself. So if there's anything that the governor can do to stop the eviction tomorrow, to steady it, to work with the families, that's all they want. And from what I've heard tonight, there has been inconsistencies with the story, and that's unacceptable. And I will support, and I always will, hold people accountable. So please help these families before they get on the streets too. Thank you so much.
Sorry, I would like to say that my understanding of this project is that there will actually be more affordable housing available after this development is completed. So it's certainly important to take care of the people that are there now, but I think it's important to keep in mind the goal of actually increasing the supply of affordable housing at the end of the day. And these are growing pains to get there, so we still want to support the overall goal of increasing the housing supply line.
Yes, yes, but we don't want them to be homeless at the same time.
We want to do it humanely.
Correct. Thank you so much, Dre. Is there any other questions from the community? Thank you so much, Dre. Give my blessings to Josh Green, and thank you so much for all that you do and all your hard work.
Thank you.
Okay, we're gonna fast forward to announcements. The next Kalihi-Pālama Neighborhood Board meeting, number 15 meeting, is scheduled to be on Wednesday, April 16, 2025 at 7 p.m. City and County of Honolulu and Hawaii Food Bank are partnering to fight against hunger. Neighborhood Assistant Zoidel Magawai will be collecting donated canned goods at the next neighborhood board meeting on Wednesday, April 16, 2025. The Kalihi-Pālama Neighborhood Board number 15 recordings can be seen on Olelo Channel 49 or at the website at the following times: first Monday of each month at 9 p.m. and the second and fourth Thursday of each month at 11 a.m. Adjournment.